go, something either in the drive line or transmission. He said something definitely amiss. It just simply would not go.
Let's have a look first from the Goodyear blip. The red flag is out at Dover. The front straightaway pretty well blocked. So here's the restart.
It's a nice jump here.
Yeah, he starts to go, but it looks like when he shifts.
That's where he shifted third.
And it just didn't, something happened.
And then here comes trouble.
It's on from there.
Look at this, takes out the 78, the 4, 47. All these cars piling in there, nowhere to go. Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Bam, right into the 24.
Kyle Busch.
Going to be easier to tell you who's not involved.
Goodness gracious.
The 2, the 11.
Let's ride with Kevin Harvick.
He almost got through it. You could hear him kind of throttling through it, and then somebody got into the back of him.
All right, let's ride with Ricky Stenhouse. Next, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Big impact right there. You could hear it and see it.
Man, that was hard.
Very hard impact.
Holy smokes. It just looks like when he went to third gear, Jeff, that it either broke the gear or they never went. I don't know what happened.
It wouldn't come out of second. It was stuck in second. I don't know what would cause it to do that.
And then back where Allmendinger and Newman were, everybody was coming full throttle.
Well, yeah, you're winding it up in third gear. You're getting up. You got a lot of speed at that point.
From pit road, from the handheld cameras. Well, Martin Truex electing to restart on the outside was just a bad draw.
Yeah, I don't think the way that turned out, I'm not sure that it would have made a whole lot of difference.
Well, had he been on the inside, he would have missed it.
He made it right on the inside, I believe.
Yeah.
But that's nothing you can plan for.
No, it was. I mean, that could have also been the defining moment for how he wins this race. Unfortunately, it's the defining moment that got him caught up in this wreck.
Yeah. Now, all the damage on the front of his car is above the air inlet, so all this down here is in good shape. This is obviously going to have to do a little bear bond there because you can see these gapping holes where it knocked the sheet metal.
Well, and I'd be worried that hood's going to fly off. I think that it possibly may have sheared off those hood pins and that area that secures the hood. Plus, he's got some damage here on the right front.
Yeah, a little bit
right in there that may rub the tire.
So red flag at Dover. NHRA coverage. The Summit Southern Nationals will follow us immediately from Atlanta. But right now, everything is stopped on the front straightaway for an accordion-style crash, beginning when Jimmy Johnson did not get going on the restart from the outside of the front row. Right behind him was Martin Truex. Here's their radio.
I mean, it stops like something broke. You know, like usually if it's here, you just grab one, you going again. Well, he stopped but never had any power, it looked like. That's what it looked like on TV. It's like he shut the engine off. It was that bad. It's unbelievable, man.
That's exactly right. Unbelievable.
Here's another look.
At this point, he's lifting the rear tires off the ground. There's nothing any of these cars can do.
You know, the biggest concern I would have with that nose, from an aero standpoint, but all of the ductwork behind there that sends the air to the radiator coolant, that's going to be my big concern. Aero-wise, it's going to be hard to get it back where it was, but that's a huge concern.
You know, those cars that came piling in from the back, beginning with, I think, Greg Biffle and Kyle Busch, those cars are destroyed. I mean, they had a huge head of steam piling in there.
They were catching third gear in the gas.
Full throttle. red flag. Many of the drivers out of their cars looking around. And after that hit,
got a stinger on the hand there.
Yeah. Well, hand or elbow, like Jamie McMurray had the other day.
I think he was holding on to that steering wheel, and when he took that impact, it may have jerked the wheels out of his hand and maybe hit his knuckle.
Yeah. 18 cars involved were under the red flag. Here's Vince.
Well, for the third week in a row, Joey Logano has a tough finish. Not much you could do with that. What did you see out your front window?
You know, it's a tough situation. You can't see nothing really when you're stacked up on a restart like that. And my spotter did a good job telling me to check up, but the cars behind me hit me and kind of sent me to the bottom, and it's just hard to get out of the way, and kind of just ended up right in it. So I haven't seen a replay yet, but I'm not even sure what checked it all up. Oh, I guess, yeah, so.
The 48 definitely didn't get going. Maybe he had a gear issue of some sort.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Just kind of been the victim of circumstances here the last few weeks. So just part of racing sometimes. We'll get our Shell Pennzoil Ford back out there. We actually weren't that bad. I thought we had a hole in the nose. That last run kind of gave up a couple spots, but we just got to change the radiator and get back out.
Thanks, Joey.
22 cars made it back around to the front straightaway to the red flag. 5 more are stopped on pit road. You cannot work on those cars under the red flag. 18 cars in all had some sort of involvement in this one, and here they are.
This is usually something we see at Talladega, and the big one, not at Dover. I knew when Jimmy Johnson had trouble and this car didn't go that this was going to be a huge wreck. You just can't have that happen at this racetrack, or maybe even any racetrack, but especially how narrow this front straightaway is. When that car on the front row has trouble, it's just going to collect everyone behind it.
Yeah, it's so narrow, and of course this is a chain reaction all the way back to Logano for him.
Let's have another look at the driver shot on Dale Earnhardt Jr., see what we can pick up.
Let's see if the wheel kind of spins in his hands when he makes contact.
Wow. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Just tries to rip your hands off. That hurt. Those were hard hits, Benny. Really hard.
You know, the adrenaline's flowing. You sometimes don't feel that pain immediately, but it looked like as he sat there,
big nose.
Pain sunk into that hand. I think he's going to be okay, but definitely something to look at.
So 18 cars involved, 22 on the racetrack, 5 more stopped on pit road. Red flag at Dover. Chris Myers.
Hi, thanks, Mike. And with Michael Waltrip, and you were talking about wild strategy. This certainly changes the dynamic of things as we await the red flag and takes out the top 2 lap leaders, Harvick, Larson, and certainly Harvick having